about when you walk in the room? Got a lot of questions about that, like what do you do? I know sometimes it's super scary because there's a whole bunch of people on the couch. A lot of times they have scary face on. So let's talk about how you should behave when you come in the room. When you come into the room, you just want to be ready to rock and roll. So put your bag down, go to the X, say hello to everyone. You know, being warm is important, and getting a feel for what's going on in the room. If somebody stands up to shake your hand, by all means, go shake it, but otherwise I wouldn't waste time doing that. Just come in for your audition. People ask if you should come in as your character, and here's the deal. I would let your character inform you. You never want to be cold or not polite. I've seen this backfire a couple times when someone came in as a really disturbed bad guy, and he came in like the disturbed bad guy. He had a super weird energy. He did his super weird bad guy audition, and then he left without saying goodbye to anyone. And I think he was just trying to stay in character, but all that was left after he left was a bunch of people going, what just happened? What's wrong with him? So you still have to be professional and polite and warm. But I don't think you should come bounding in all bubbly if you're reading for a serial killer, that kind of thing. I would use that to inform kind of the vibe that you bring in. Come in super professional. Don't waste a lot of time putting your stuff down. If a director asks you if you have any questions, and you do, by all means ask, but don't feel like you have to make up questions to fill up space. It just takes a lot of time, and it usually comes out of nerves, I found. I started as an actor myself. I just remember the joy I felt when I was in The King and I was a snowflake, and I got to stay up till midnight, which was awesome, and I was just like, I could do this forever. And I was 12. There's a joy there, you know, there's like this sheer joy about acting and being on stage and doing your thing, and I think somewhere as adults, we sort of lose that when we get all stressed about getting the job and worrying about people like us, and if we're doing exactly what they want, trying to figure out what that is. If you are prepared, nobody can do you like you can do you. So I think you have to keep that in mind when you come into the room. If you're prepared and you're doing your deal, nobody else can do what you can do, and I think you have to bring that confidence into the room, and I think you have to come into the room with joy. It's your turn to play and perform in front of all these people, and I think there has to be a sense of joy and fun in the audition itself, because when it comes down to it, when everybody's deciding who gets the role, sometimes it comes down to height or hair color, or you look too much like the lead in the show. I mean, there are things that are beyond your control. So enjoying the process from beginning to end, I think, is super helpful. And then letting it go when you leave the room. The fact that you have been called in, you know, I usually get like 300 submissions for one role. So if you're in the room, you're one of 5 people out of that many people. So that's a success. If you get put on hold, that's a success. If a director works with you in the room, I think that's a success too, because that means he sees something in you that he would either like to pull out more or see what other colors you can bring, or he just wants to get a sense that you can take some direction. So that's a positive too. So I think it's also in terms of you come into a room and change your perception to the positive, that when you walk in that room, everybody sitting there wants you to be the guy or the girl. You walk in the room like you've already got the job. And when a director gives you direction, instead of freaking out thinking that it's because he doesn't like what you did, it's because he sees something in you. So it's a major change in perception to confidence that everything you are is good enough, and everybody wants you to be fabulous.